Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. We are from AS1164C1 and today we will explain to you one of the Food Safety Assurance System Haccp. First, let me introduce you to our presenters, Fatehah, Qistina, Wafi and Nabilah. And without further ado, let's get into Haccp.
Foodborne illness risk factors are food from unsafe sources, inadequate cooking, improper holding temperatures, contaminated equipment, and poor personal hygiene. Because of this, food safety professionals are aware of how crucial Haccp principles are for reducing risk factors that directly cause foodborne illness. Hazard Analysis Critical Control Point, it is an international regulatory standard and organized strategy created especially for food safety that help in preventing food contamination from biological, physical, chemical, and allergy sources by using scientific concept and analysis. Each food business that sells or serves food must maintain food safety control. It doesn't matter if the food is being prepared in a home kitchen, a cafe, a restaurant, a hotel, a store, a retail food facility, or any other setting. The Haccp system is used to prevent unsafe food items from reaching consumers and control risk. More detailed list of benefits you can get when you're establishing your Haccp plan to reduce the risk of safety hazards in your food and the chance of product contamination. It helps you to serve safe products. It prepares you for any critical limit deviation. It helps you everything runs smoothly.
The first principles of Haccp is conduct a hazard analysis. Identify any dangers that may arise throughout any stage of food production, including primary productions, processing, manufactures, distributions, and point of consumption. Some of the potential hazards. The first one is physical hazard, glass and metal. Second is chemical hazard. We have toxic metals and cleaning fluids. And lastly, we have allergenic hazard, eggs and nuts. The processing facilities must be properly evaluated to identify dangers. Raw materials, design of plant and equipment, extrinsic parameters, process design, facilities design, personnel, packaging, and lastly, storage and distribution. The second principle is determine critical control point. Find the areas, processes, or operational stage that can be controlled to eliminate risk or reduce the possibility that they will materialize. Examples of application involving CCP. The first one is storage, handling of ingredient and finished product. Number 2 is inspections of goods on delivery and before use. Number 3, establish critical limit. Critical limits are predetermined limits that can be measured and observed. Others utilize pH, humidity, and salt content, while some specific using temperatures and time. There are numbers that, if they are went over or not reached, will cause the specific CCP to lose control.
The fourth principle is establish monitoring procedures. Monitoring involves carrying out procedures that allow it possible to determine whether or not a critical limit is being maintained. To determine whether the standards set by CCPs are met or not, some monitoring methods are carried out. For example, inspect workers' practices and raw materials, sensory evaluation, and chemical measurement. The next principle is establish corrective actions. Initiate the corrective actions to be taken only when monitoring indicates that a particular CCP is not under control. The step to be taken specify on what to do to correct the violation, what to do with the product that was produced under the incorrect critical limits. The sixth principle is establish verification procedures. Establish procedures for verification to confirm that the Haccp system is working effectively. It is described methods to go about checking whether the CCP is still under control. And the last principle is establish record keeping and documentation procedures. Organize documentation regarding all procedures and records following these principles and their application. It must include all procedures, hazard analysis, justification for decision, identification for CCPs within the flow diagram, monitoring records, corrective action records, verification records, and other documentations.
Alright, now I will explain to you about application of Haccp. There are 12 applications that have in Haccp. So the first one is assemble Haccp team. Then they will describe the product and they will identify intended use, and then they will construct the flow diagram, which is the diagram must cover all the steps in the process. Alright, after that, the Haccp team should perform an on-site confirmation of the flow diagram, and then they will list all potential hazards, and after that they will determine the critical control point and establish critical limits for each CCP. Alright, besides, they will establish a monitoring system for each CCP, and then establish corrective action, and they will establish the verification procedures, and last one is establish documentation and record keeping. So in the conclusion, Haccp is a key part of food health and safety because it is a standardized process that used to conduct risk and manage the possible hazards in the food industry. So I think that's all from our group for this presentation. Thank you.